Hi, welcome to our show today. Today we are pleasured and honored to be able to have the Sire with us. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you, Aaron, for having me here on the program.
Yeah, you've got some exciting things as far as music goes. In fact, your music, kind of transcends to other, especially to our youth. But tell us, what are you doing? How would you describe your music?
As far as what I'm doing, I'm trying to do everything right now I have a family, so I'm trying to do what I have to do to take care of my family.
First and foremost.
Exactly. Right? Doing everything I have to do for the music, promotion, get the music out there, get the music heard. And at the same time, come on programs like this where, discuss my music at the same time, for the youth. As far as describing what it means, because if you hear the music, it gets categorized as rap. Some even might call it gangster rap, but
okay. How would you describe it, though?
I would describe it as real music. Maybe you give in ghetto soul, we're spreading out the ghetto word, you could say.
Okay.
My man Angel knows what I'm talking about. That's basically what we're doing. Like taking, most of where I come from, bringing that out, spreading the word, which many are doing. But like in my music, every song has a message. It might sound like I'm talking about something else, but if you really pay attention, there's a meaning to it.
In fact, what do you want that? What is that meaning? Listen to it. I just.
It depends on the song. Like say, I have a song called "Soldier of the Street," and on that song, I'm pretty much explaining why we become what we do on the streets, and like trying to get people to understand.
The background.
Yeah, exactly. These days you hear so many people like, oh, he's, this guy ain't gonna go nowhere in life, or he's growing up the wrong way. But with this song, I'm describing, okay, this is why I came up this way. You know what I mean? And to help people that don't understand that hear it. But when you hear it, it's a real good song too.
right, yeah. And the mix is great and everything. And the music is catchy. So, but when it comes to the individual listening to it, so they identify with it, right? Because they go, hey, that is me. He's describing me. Now, but you're not just talking from a third party, just saying, well, this is why. You've lived it yourself.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I'm born in California, born in East LA. Grew up around LA, Linwood area, and I was one of one, like say, where we're from again. I was one that was lucky to have both of my parents, but I'd say my dad was one of them hardworking parents where he was never really home. So we had, moms there always trying to take care of us, but we're always on the streets with the friends, and as you grow up, you become a group, then you get categorized, and it just goes from there, So
when you say a group, you mean a gang?
Yeah, either.
What's termed as a gang?
Yeah.
A group? Okay.
Well, honestly, the way I see it is any group.
Is a form of a
gang. A gang, it's a gang, and right away, people, they know gangs are bad. But say, you got tagging crews, you got any kind of crew, and if they get in a fight, it's called a gang fight or something. So me personally, it's as long as it's a crew, it's a crew. So,
right.
So me coming up, I had my friends, my crew. Where we had problems, stuff like that. And then also, from there, my parents try to get us out of that, so they moved us over to San Bernardino County, where it's pretty much the same.
Yeah,
so it just it just continued.
Right. It didn't. You went out of that.
Yeah, it didn't go.
Go to Alaska. I don't know.
Yeah, but like say back then I didn't know, so I kept going with what I did. But now, as an older male or an older guy, I realized what they were trying to do, which was find a better place for me and my brother and our family. So.
Right. Do you have children now, or?
Yeah, I got 2 kids, Desiree Jr. I got a little boy and a little girl.
Aww.
So yeah, and then
how old are they?
My daughter's 10 and my son's gonna be 3.
Okay, so now so you see it from your parents' perspective now. So what do you think you would either, I wouldn't want to say do different, but what would you like to improve upon, like from what your parents did? Not really basing the two, but how would you like to be a better parent when it comes to things like that?
Honestly, like say, I gotta say, it's been good. I took both sides. Cause say, my dad was a strict, coming from Mexican culture, strict, do this, and and my mom was more laid back. So I got to see both. You know what I mean? I didn't just, either grow up, grounded all the time or something, or always.
Two extremes. So
yeah.
The balance.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So I had the times where I had the freedom, and then I had the times where, I had authority over me and stuff. So
which pushes a person, especially a youth growing up, like a teenager, because you want that freedom, and it's given to you all, and then it's taken back from you. Is that kind of how you found yourself?
Yeah, almost all the time. I mean, especially, like I said, my dad always out working or whatever, and then he'd get home and lay down the law, and when we were outside the whole day, all of a sudden we got to come in, we're like, wait a minute. I mean,
so if you were to kind of suggest to parents, because we have a lot of parents also that watch our teachers, what would you suggest as far as, that would be a more balanced, just from parents? And again, at least you can speak as a parent. But.
Yeah, honestly, I guess I would say, common sense, mainly, as far as, common sense, and at the same time, be a friend, but don't forget that you are the parent. You know what I mean? And that'll be number one. You know what I mean? Don't forget you're the parent. You're bringing up somebody. You're teaching them how to live life. You know what I mean? So that's where I would say, bringing the common sense. What would you do in a situation like that? Remember how you were when you were that kid. You know what I mean? What did you not like that your parent did at that moment or whatever? You know what I mean? That's what I use a lot. I try to, I'll do that with my kids. You know what I mean? Like if I do something and I feel like, oh, I shouldn't have did that, then later on I'll explain why I did what I did or said what I said. And
that's important, because I believe with discipline, whatever, that the main thing is that the child understand why, right? And that's what you're saying. Well, that's good. Not to completely change the subject, but now you as a youth, though, at what point did that turn around, or when did you on your own say, hey, wait a minute, that's either not the life for me or that's not what I want to pursue?
Well, I know exactly when that happened. It was like one instance where now, let me say that now I live in Arizona. And I live in Arizona because we went from LA to San Bernardino.
Oh, that's the story.
They said, you know what, let's go to Arizona. Right. You know what I mean? So, shouts out to Arizona, San Bernardino, all my people.
I hear you. I've been in Arizona. It's very hot. I can understand. Don't worry, the king story.
Yeah, but you get used to it, man.
Right.
But yeah, going back to that question, like I said, I was in that lifestyle. You know what I mean? I got caught in a situation where my lady was actually involved in the area, to where, it came down to where I got shot at. People thought I got hit. People thought I got killed. It was like a big scene, big crime type scene.
When was this?
That was years ago. I'd say it was probably at least 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was one of them situations. I was in the lifestyle and all that, and the word spread, like from the first gunshot. The word just spread to my mom, to my brother, my friends. I mean, everything. I mean,
so they all thought they had lost you.
Yeah, everybody thought they had lost me. And I mean, me honestly, I was driving. The situation happened. I didn't know the severity of it because I kept driving. I mean, all I knew was I didn't get hit. So I just, I drove, went home. But when I got home, that's when I seen the effect. I mean, I seen the car. I mean, how lucky I was, I could say. And then the other was the way my mom came out. I mean, just thinking, she basically came out thinking I was just gonna fall out the car. I mean, and she had my little sister at the time there. Same thing. My brother came out hysterical, thinking something had happened.
Right.
I mean, it's just like,
wow.
I could describe that whole scene to you, and that's when I knew, like, okay, I need to stop now, because the way I seen it affect my family.